President John Dramani Mahama regime for the 9% increment in the base pay for 2026, and it's effective from the 1st of January 2026. Now, what Leo and I will be doing for you today is we are going to break down why our Ghanaian, workers, at least the ones I've seen on social media. Maybe you are in your car, maybe you are hungry. You can send a text to us maybe later in the show and all that. But why are Ghanaian workers on social media, the public sector workers, why are they angry at the government? Why are they complaining about the 9%, increment in the base pay? Proponents of the government are saying, oh, but inflation is performing well. We are single digits now. We are projecting even about 6.5% of inflation before the year ends. The dollar is relatively stable. At the last trading rate the Bank of Ghana gave on its Facebook page, that is the 7th of November, it was 10.9. In January, it was 14.7. So that is the argument of government. But people are also saying that, no, we've not felt the impact of the inflation. So Leo and I will be digging for you the numbers. We will be doing the breakdown for you here today. Leo, welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, so as you can see, government increases minimum wage by 9% effective January 1. And the date is the 9th of November. And look at when the story came. 5:31 p.m. And we pay just 9%. So basically what it means is that if you earn 2,000, your salary is increasing by roughly what? About what? 200 Ghana cedis, right? So 10%. Right?
Yeah.
Yes. So about 200 Ghana. Yes.
Approximated at 200 Ghana.
Yes. I buy some title between every month and what amount. Basically, that's it. But Leo, this is the backstory. And I always like to build context when it comes to some of these analyses. Let's not forget, in 2023 February, before that, in 2022, the Ghana Statistical Service did a survey, a report, where they said that 80% of public sector workers earn below 3,000 cedis. 3,000 cedis. Now, Leo, this is interesting. Let's do this. Before we go to the numbers, let's do this. This is the chart they presented. So as you can see here, Ghana has roughly some 6,000, as at the time that they did. They had about 688,000 public sector workers. Now you take us through the salary ranges for these as at then, 2023, 688,000.
We are going to take you through earnings monthly, per range monthly, and then number of workers, and then percentage of the workforce.
Yeah.
So those who are earning below 3,000 Ghana cedis, the number is 533,179, and that represents 77.5% of the total working force. And then
pause there. So meaning that of the working force of Ghana, as at February 2023, when the report was published, were 688,000. 80% of that, in actually, 77.5. Let's say 80%. That is 533,107 and less than 3,000 cedis.
Yes.
Meaning that they are not even paid 100 cedis a day.
Yeah. And then the next number is from those who are earning from 3,000 cedis to 4,999. So roughly from 3,000 cedis to 5,000 cedis represents 104,349 people, and that represents 15.2% of that number. And then those who are earning from 5,000 Ghana cedis to 9,999, which is 5,000 to 10,000 cedis, is 6,225, and that represents 0.9. So it means 0.9% of our workforce and just around
5,000.
Yeah.
Just around 10,000.
Just around 10,000.
Those who went between 5,000 to 9,999 are just 3%. So it tells you that the bulge, the mass of Ghanaians, right, earn below 3,000. So if a teacher and nurse sends you 100 cedis, meaning that the person woke up, brushed the teeth, bathed their body, ironed their shirt, and went to work for you. That's simply what it means.
Yeah.
So if the Ghanaian worker is complaining about their salary, it is very important to them. Now, Leo, because of context, let's go to 2017, because I've seen some charts flying and I couldn't trust it, so I decided to go through a systematic. This is 2017, when the Kufuor government came. Firstly, what was the base pay increment?
So in 2017, and this story was on the 21st of July 2017, the time again came at 1:45 a.m. The base pay goes up by 11%.
11%.
That was 2017.
Okay. 2018?
2018, it went, our basic salaries increased by 11%.
Okay. 2019?
2019, government workers to enjoy 10% pay rise in 2019.
Okay, 2020?
2020 was 15% pay rise.
Okay, 2021?
In 2021, it was 4% pay rise.
Okay, 2021 again 4%.
It's another 4%.
Then 2022?
2022 was 7% rise.
So let's pause here. Before COVID, or let's say when COVID hit, 2020, 15%. I mean, January COVID hit somewhere 12th of March 2020, right? Then 2021, post-COVID, immediately 4%. Post-COVID period, 2022, 7%. Let's go to 2023. 2023 was the figure?
30%.
30%. Then 2024, what was the figure?
It was 10%.
10%. Then the Mahama regime also did what, 10%?
Yeah.
Then now 9%. Now, I've seen this chart where people are circulating it around and basically trying to say that, oh, they are trying to compare inflation and all that. Then they compare the 2016 increment of 9% to the 8% inflation as we have now. But Leo, the average inflation for the year so far is around 15 to 16%. So if you are comparing the base increment of 2016 to an average inflation, that means that we've always done below that. Now, why do I mean? This is the chart. So I decided to let ChatGPT basically draw the chart for me. Give him the figure to draw the chart for me. Now, look, this is it. The yellow, the yellow line, as you see it, is it yellow?
Yeah, yellow,
right? You are good at colors. A salary increase. That is the percentages. The blue is about inflation, and the green is about the change.
Real wage, yeah.
Right? Comparing the inflation to the salary, right? Basically, because inflation, as you all know, is how expensive or how fast things are going or how slow they are going. So if inflation is 8%, doesn't mean that when it was 20%, the prices have come down. I mean, the prices are still going up, but at a slower rate compared to when it was 20%. So you notice that in 2017, the pay increment, which is the one in yellow, was higher than inflation. In 2018, it was higher than inflation. Here, I'm looking at this. In 2019, it was higher than inflation. In 2020, it was higher than inflation. In 2020, it was higher than inflation. 2022 was when we saw a difference. And 2022, if you remember, was when in December we recorded the highest inflation over 50%. So for the first time in that year, we realized that the increment the workers got, which was around just about 15%, but inflation was hovering around 40%. Then in 2023, it came back to normal, where the increment is always higher than inflation. When you look at 2024, they were almost at par, just like 2017.
Yeah.
Right? And the Kufuor recorded single-digit inflation from 2018 to about 2020, there about before COVID hit. Then in 2025, you can also see that it's still
above, but a little bit closer than before.
But you see, the difference in 2016 is that it is projected inflation. We don't know the macroeconomic numbers. Will it be the same? And also, Leo, I get arguments that they are making, that the workers are making. So, for example, there's another chart for you. The blue, as you see, is the salary increase. The yellow is inflation. You can always see that the salary increment always is higher than inflation, except in 2022, where inflation tumbled, exceedingly. We are doing about 40%. Food inflation was, Ghana had one of the highest food inflation around the world and all that. So for me, the argument here by the Ghanaian worker makes sense. Have we really felt inflation that
in our
much?
Pockets?
I mean, Leo, you go to the market, you can tell us. I mean, inflation was what? Some 20% in January.
Yeah.
Today, the thing you were buying for, say, 40 cedis.
Yeah.
Are you buying it for 35 cedis now because inflation is 8%?
Yeah, I mean, there are days that we have compared prices from wholesalers, but then we always talk about going to the tabletop sellers, and it's always the same. So we are not, even though you may find that the price differences on the macro level, but on the micro level, or where people spend every day, you never see that change.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So though, that's why I always say that sometimes data is very weird until you strip it down. So though the exchange rate had been stable from about 14.7% on the 6th of January 2025, now we are doing 10 points now as at the 7th of November, right? But we've not felt the impact. So the Ghanaian worker feels that they've been shortchanged for the 9%. And I get the argument. I feel that the government of Ghana should have done maybe 12-15%. 12-15% would have been normal based on this chart. Because I feel that they'll be shortchanged. That's how I feel. Because if you're going through the whole year and your salary, let's take the 3,000 people, your salary is increasing by just about 300
Ghana cedis. That's next to nothing.
I mean, you get it. So I get the argument. I also feel that we have come to time where we need to have a way, though a free market economy, these figures will mean something in the pocket of people. Because the exchange rate has done well. We've appreciated by some 26% in the year. from 20. I mean, inflation has almost what? We've divided by, about 30%. Come down. But people are still complaining. So I think that we need to look at that. And also, the finance minister and the government must have a way where these because the economic variables are good. We must have a way where the economic variables reflect in the pockets of the people. I
think from the trust that Ghanaians put in this government, looking at the results of the election, and of course budgets that has been read and how they have been praised. I think, like you said, people want to start feeling these changes in their pockets. We cannot always look at, when the numbers look good on paper, or you go to the market and then your money cannot buy anything. So they really need to do something about it.
Yeah, I just received a test from the people in the private sector. So they're also saying that the private one is also pegged some of these numbers to inflation. But for me, I always say that data is interesting. Until you look at the data, you would think that, the government is doing too well, but I believe that when you compare, because people also comparing to Akufo-Addo's regime when it comes to the inflation, you can clearly see that the Akufo-Addo regime did seemingly well. They were always uptake, or the increments were always higher than the inflation figure, except in 2022, which is an outlier in that 8-year period. The Mahama regime has done 2 years now, 10%, 9%. I believe that in 2017, those who go to the table should do a lot more for the Ghanaian worker, because inflation is tricky, and rarely, when inflation reduces at that level, you don't really feel it in the market. And also, what is interesting, finally, I have 1 minute to go, is the regional inflation. So a teacher in Accra will enjoy, but a teacher in maybe the north, when you look at the disparity in regional inflation. So also, maybe we need to get to a point where even salary increment must have some dynamics when it comes to the regional positions of the teachers. For example, David Akweta's level, when they give him a salary increment of 10%, the impact will be minimal compared to me 10%. You get it? So maybe we need to look at a more nuanced approach to some of these increments and all that. Yeah, this has been the breakdown. The debate will certainly continue in your cars and in your offices. Leo and I did this together. David produced us. On Wednesday, we come back with more exciting conversations on the radio. Thank you.
Thank you.